Cora, Nina has a problem with her new home. In this email, she writes that the builder just told her the closing has been delayed 2 weeks because of labor shortage. Meanwhile, Nina has told her home, sold her home, and it's expected to close next week. She does not want to move twice, and the buyers of her home do not want to extend the closing until Nina's new home is completed. The interesting point she writes in is that the contract specifies the end of June, I guess the last day, is the latest of the closing date. So she has, by contract standards, till the end of June. And again, the buyers are refusing to move the closing to the following week. Nina wants to know, what should she do? Anything?
So it sounds like her preference is to stay in her current home until she's able to move into the new construction. And, oftentimes, even if the builder wanted to let the buyer in early, they can't because they don't have that certificate of occupancy. Right. So, that aside, if she wants to stay in her current home and her current contract for her sale home states that it has to close on or before the end of June, then I would like to know, on what grounds does the buyer have to demand that the closing occur earlier? I would want to review the contract. I know that our current board form here in the greater Louisville area would account for that day if it's a set time frame, or if it's a time span, like let's say 15 to 30 days, and let's say that 30th day falls within the end of June. If the parties can't agree, it happens on that last business day. Mm-hmm. So I'm uncertain as to how or on what grounds, like I mentioned, that the buyer can demand that closing occur earlier, and therefore putting out that seller, so to speak, making them simply homeless for a week or so until that other closing happens. So this is where who you work with matters, and who their real estate professional is. So their real estate licensee, should be fighting for them and examining that board contract and explaining this to them, and certainly getting with their preferred legal professional, what closing attorney is closing this. Have them explain that to you to say, on what grounds can they do this? Why can't I close at the end of the month and be able to legally and contractually do that?
Yeah, and there are ramifications on either side. Certainly the buyers may not want to move twice as well, but
something's got to give. And so we want to look at where that contractual right and duty exists within the contract, because what's in writing matters. And I understand that people make other plans, and all of that is just preferences. But legally, what does the contract say, and what are the requirements? And that's what I'm interested in. And it sounds like it may be that she has the right to hold off closing until the end of the month. And it might not be preferable to her new buyers, but, again, somebody's got to give in this scenario, unfortunately.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the only caveat to what you just said is if in a repair response, a date for closing was actually put in there. I guess with the terms, time is of the essence, regardless. It doesn't matter if the time and date is in the response and the seller has signed it, you're not locked into that closing. Am I right?
Right. And to your point, Bob, did we modify that closing date in any subsequent addendums, including any repair requests? So that would be included in your contract, and any addenda there too that we would need to confer and confirm what is that closing date, and then we can tell you what your rights and obligations and duties are.
Yep, Nina, if you need more help, Cora is available, and
Absolutely.
Frank is a place to go for your closings as well as help for legal issues. You can reach Cora and her team at 895-9900. Also, if you're thinking of possibly needing your home inspected like I have and Home Team has done, you can reach out to Home Team Inspection Service and also Team Bug Out if you've got pests and you're worried about those new flying spiders out there. You can reach Brad and his team at 844-411-TEAM. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, I would love to come out and help you. It's free. It's no obligation. You basically call me and we do a sit down. We look at the house, come up with a plan, find the price of what the home should be based on what we look at on my computer, because I carry my computer with me, and we look at comparables. You can reach me at 376-5483 or go to bobsellslouisville.com. That's it. We're out of time. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.